What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to Shopcast, episode 71. This week's movie was Eden Lake. It is I don't know where it's actually from, but randomly while watching it on my end, it went from English and it legitimately just in the middle of a sentence switched to German, and I was like, "What?" And so I had to pause it and go to the menu and try to figure out what was going on. It turns out I've got one. I mean, mine's definitely a region 2. I couldn't find a region 1 when I was buying this movie. I don't know what they've got made since then, but yeah, I had to go back and redo all the. I don't know how the settings got messed up. I don't know, maybe it's just a weird thing that happened because it's a region free player, so it's all altered and whatnot. But I was watching the movie and then all of a sudden it's German, and I'm like, wait, hold on, what happened? So if I waited for a full minute thinking I don't remember them speaking German in this movie at all. And then I was like, no, dude, this doesn't even sound the same. The volume dropped. I was like, what happened?
Nice and bargain.
Yeah, dude. I was like, what's happening? But so we watched Eden Lake. It's got Michael Fassbender and then some woman in it that I don't know who she is, but boy, goodness, is she pretty.
Kelly, Pride and Prejudice or something like that, I think, and a couple
I
other
wouldn't know she's in that movie, sir.
things like that. I looked her up because I was curious. She looked kind of familiar, but
She is smoke show, man.
Her big thing now is the show Yellowstone.
Oh, she's in that?
Yes.
That's cool.
She's one of the main characters in that.
Nice. Well, I mean, she's a good actor too. But Michael Fassbender is the reason that I wanted to watch this because he's the one that I recognized.
Mm-hmm.
This is a nasty movie, man. This is a nasty movie. I didn't tell y'all anything about it because I just wanted y'all to see, because I wanted to get some reactions from y'all, because I remembered watching it and at the end of it, I didn't feel good. I was just ugh. And then I watched it again this time and I was like, yeah, dude, I was right. That one's rough. It's a nasty movie, bro. But it's one of the best horror movies I've ever seen because it's the most. It's nasty, bro. I don't know. That's the perfect word to describe it, bro. The whole film is it does not. Look, hold up. Spoiler alerts. I'm about to ruin this whole movie if you want to watch this shit. Just stop now. So yeah, you've been warned. This movie does not get better ever. It just gets worse and worse and worse, and then credits roll. And you're like, yo, hold on, what? When it ended the first time I watched it, I couldn't believe that was the end of the movie. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah.
But it was on one of the way that I got to this movie was on the same lists, type of lists as and I should have thought about it, was on 120 Days of Sodom. What's that other one? Serbian film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This would be at number 10 or 9 on most fucked up horror movies or most disturbing horror movies list. It wouldn't be towards the front, but I was shocked to find that it had Michael Fassbender in it, because every other movie on these lists would be no-name people the whole way down. Right. And I was like, Michael Fassbender's in this movie and it's on these lists? I was like, dude, they gotta be mistaken. It can't be that bad. So I didn't even watch it. I just bought it without watching it. And then it took me a month to watch it. So when I threw it in, I was not prepared, man. I was like, boop-a-doo, Michael Fassbender movie. Boop. Halfway through it, I'm like, oh my god, it's so depressing. I was like, what am I watching? But
I remember when you watched it the first time. I think you still had the comic shop.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because you talked to me about it. You're like,
this
shit is fucked up. I remember you telling me about this movie. Yeah,
that makes me happy that I still feel the same way. Then, man, that's effective, man. Well, because if I didn't feel that way now, that'd be not good, dude. It's an effective movie. This is one of those movies that I'll be honest, man. I've seen a Serbian film, and I think this movie is much worse. Quite a bit worse, actually. Hell, I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No, it was just called Leatherface, and it's a prequel. I thought that movie was worse than more fucked up than a Serbian film, because they have this one part where this chick and this dude, they're psychotics. They're from that family, whatever, and they're in this trailer and they're fucking on top of this rotting dead body, and the chick starts making out with this rotting dead corpse while she's getting it in, and I was like, what? But I didn't pause it or anything. I was just like, no, I'll just keep watching. But
grab the lotion real quick.
Yeah, so I could rub it over my fucking lips, my puking everywhere. It was nasty. But No, man, this movie was that's what this movie is. This is one of those intense ones. There's another one where this like lady's trapped in a house and this nun trying to get her to cut out a baby in her. So it's a French extreme horror movie, and that's what this feels like. It slides right into that category really well. And I know there's going to be some people that are like, "Oh, it's not that extreme. It's not that bad." Well, no, then you got issues, man, because it is. Like really fucked up things happen in this movie, and they never turn back. Like there's never a point to where you're like, oh, there's some hope. And then when there is a little bit of hope at the very last part of the movie, they're like, gotcha. And you're like, no. But you know,
it's a subtler, like fucked up. Like it's not like super gory. There's a few moments, but it's not like overly gory or, you know, like rapes or
no, but it feels the same as that. It feels the same as a sexual assault. It feels nasty, dude. Like they when they get that little kid, that little Indian kid.
Yeah.
Man, I said that messed up. Whatever. The little Middle Eastern fellow, the little dude that was not white. But they get that kid and they're basically like, yo, you want to be part of our gang? And you'll trick her to come back over here. And they throw a tire over that fool and light that boy on fire. And you can just hear him screaming. I'm like, oh my goodness.
You don't even really see it. It's like in the background and like the trees.
And he's like, show for a second around. Ah!
And it's still like, oh my God.
I will say that this is probably on my top 10 movies list, horror movie list. Because it's like, I don't want to watch it all the time. But like, man, you want to mess somebody's day up and you want to be like, yo, you want to fucked up. Because every now and then you get people to go, no, man, horror movies don't really bother me. And I just want to be like, oh, you want one to watch? Here you go. Like Megan is Missing. It's like, here you go. And then they watch it and they're like, oh yeah, this ain't that bad. You get to like the last 10 minutes and you're like, oh my God, that made the whole movie worse. Like that's fucked up. And that's what this is. It's one of those type of movies where let's test your threshold for what you really can withstand as far as like gruesome content. I don't want to say because it wasn't gory. You're right. I mean, it had a little bit of that, but like, dude, when she jumped into that thing and had like the carcasses in it, dude, you could smell it through the screen, dude. It looked like shit water. And I mean, I was like, oh, and then she like, you can see her face, and then she like climbs in there, and you're like, oh my goodness, bro. Like, I'll tell you what, though, she did not commit to that scene because when she came up out of it, her eyelashes weren't dripping, bro. What are you doing? I did notice that, though. I was like, oh man, this is, man, that yeah. And when she, like, dude, what's up with old buddy pulling his dick out at the beach, bro? Why would you do that? Ruining people's day at the beach, man.
Yeah.
Like, what a dick. Yeah, literally.
I think like this probably has the worst bad guy in any movie I've ever seen. Like
he's the most unlikable person.
Yes.
There's only that's funny you mentioned that because I also was thinking about that. And I'm trying to find out another movie because there's a couple of movies that have like really despicable people, but I can't really think of one off the top of my head that even comes close to this.
A lot of people just use Joffrey from Game of Thrones as just the most unlikable character in, you know, any movie or TV show.
This guy gives him a run for his money.
Oh, I think this dude's worse. This dude's way worse. I mean, yeah, Joffrey did do a lot of similar things, but I mean, this dude just straight up lit people on fire and just yeah, it was fucked up.
Dude, like the whole movie, like the thing is like they start all this shit. Like they're just white trash pieces of garbage people.
Yeah, they're just looking for trouble, looking to fuck with people.
And the thing is like, dude, like everybody's like that to a certain extent, but they take it so far beyond like even bad kids don't act like that. Like you're like, good grief, man. Yeah, and then he makes everybody, dude, he makes everybody cut old buddy. He's like, yeah, there was some hard to watch parts in this movie, man. When she running through the forest and she steps on that, like, what was it, like a wood, like a big ass splinter or something?
It was like something like that.
Dude, went through her foot. All I could think of was that my mom told me when she was a kid, her and her brother were like riding bikes and they used to live in Viter. There wasn't much out there, so they would go out to this construction site to play, like. Ooh. And she was running through there. They were like playing tag or some shit, and she was running, and she stepped on a board that had a nail through it and went through her foot. She had to ride home with that board on her foot so she could get her dad to get it out. And like, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say rebar or something because construction sites.
Oh man, but yeah, so for anybody that's still listening to this. So what this movie's about is it's a couple that go on their vacation to like this lake. They're gonna go have like a little weekend camp, and the dude's gonna propose to his girl. It's one of those type of movies, right? So they get out there and they're just minding their own business. And this group of kids come up out of nowhere, kind of come to the beach. They clearly like the locals, you know, they live there. So they're out just doing their thing, listening to the music, but they're being really obnoxious. They're like picking on some other kids. They're playing music really loud. They're like pissing on things, drinking liquor, but they're all like 15. I think the oldest was probably close to 18, I'd say. Somewhere in that neighborhood, 17, 18 years old. They're all high school kids. And they end up having a problem with Michael Fassbender and his girl because I honestly don't even know why. Because they had the music up really fucking loud. And they were doing a bunch of obnoxious shit. He just asked them to. The dog. It was the dog. The dog kept coming over and barking and snapping at the girl. And they had this giant Rottweiler that they don't keep on a leash and stuff. And they're just troublemakers. And then basically what happens is they leave. And so you think like, okay, what's fixing to actually happen in this movie? You think, oh, it's a red herring. No, it's not a red herring at all. What's happened is they just went home for the night to have dinner or something, because the next day they come back and they steal their car and all their shit, like their phone or his wallet or something. Like his wallet, his phone, and his sunglasses. He was pretty pissed about that. But they steal their car and then they start a fight with them. When they finally find them, they start a fight with them and end up like pulling a knife on Michael Fassbender, inadvertently gets the dog killed. And then now the kid is blaming Michael Fassbender for everything, and he's got this vendetta against him. And so they end up capturing him. They take the car. They finally get their car. They run from these kids. They crash the car, and a tree basically like what'd you call that? Like not impales him, but like it traps him in his car, and he can't get out.
Yeah.
It was like pressing him against the back seat or something. He couldn't get out of it or something.
Pinned him down.
Oh, pinned him down. Thank you. Yeah, pinned him in the car. And so the kids come, you know, the nice fucking citizens that they are, and they come help him get out of the car, and they
help him on
politely tie him up with barbed wire and start fucking stabbing him and shit. Dude, they cut the shit out of that dude. And she has to sit there and watch it, bro. Oh man, can you imagine that? Having to like be quiet while that's happening, and he's like looking at her like, "Bitch, you better shut your mouth. They're gonna get you too." But yeah, I mean it's not really that long of a movie either.
No, it's like 90 minutes.
It's funny because if you talk about this movie and if you think about it, it sounds so brutal and gory, but it's not. They did it really well because it's brutal, but it's not that gory.
Yeah.
And then so basically what happens is the lady ends up finally, after like a whole day of running from these kids, gets out into this like, I guess like a actual highway road or something. And this dude stops. I think he looks like it's like animal control or some shit. Stops and picks her up and takes her into town. And no, she's like, I want to go this way, get out of here. And he goes, no. That's not the way we go. Town's this way. And she's like, all right, whatever. She gets in the car with him and they pull into town. And like, how did casting, like, I should look at who these people actually are, because the parents looked exactly like the kid. It looked like real families. And I was like, wait, are these people really these hillbilly white trash folks? Is just casting is really this good? But like, they end up taking her back to this house to get help, and it ends up being the family of these kids. And then the kids end up calling the mom, "Oh, they killed little Bobby Joe," and mom starts freaking out, acting like it's her fault. Dude, it felt so familiar when those parents started freaking out. It felt so familiar. Like when you call a parent and be like, your kid's out here acting a fool, and the parent's like, why are you treating them like that then? And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You just broke into my car, and like, why'd you leave your car there? And you're like, that's my driveway. Well, why you buy a house in this neighborhood then? If you want your car broken into, ain't my kid's fault. It was just there. And you're like,
you're just never gonna win.
Yeah, dude. It was like
as soon as she started running to like a house, I was like, you're just going to their parents' house. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, when I first,
it's the same house that he like sneaks into in the beginning part too. And I noticed.
Yeah, it's the dude's house.
I noticed when she was like laying on the couch, I was like, oh shit, that's the same fucking house that she was in earlier.
Yeah, when I first saw the movie, I thought they gave you that information just enough so that you know what's fixing to happen when she runs in there. And you're like, oh no, this is the time that you'd welcome people yelling at the theater screen, like, bitch, run, get out of there. Like,
get out.
Dude. Yeah, this movie was absolutely brutal. But it was convincing. Like, I felt like this could really happen. It's a little extreme, but I feel like something like this could happen. Like, I wouldn't be at all surprised to hear that this exact scenario happened, because I hear far worse stuff every day on the news.
Yeah. Not that far off.
So I guess now's the time to ask, what did you guys think of it?
Yeah, I really don't know how to feel about it. Like, I don't know I've ever watched a movie that I've hated so much, but it's a good movie. Like
that's how I feel about it.
I don't
That's
have,
why I'm ranking it in my top movies, because it feels it invokes like that kind of feeling.
Yeah, I mean, like I could get down to nitpick. I think some of the decisions they make are pretty stupid. But like every horror movie has that. So
yeah.
But still, it's a well-made movie.
But there was a lot of smart decisions that they made too, man. Like when she got into that little house at the water, and they went underneath it, and then when she like flattened out on the top of that little thing. I mean, they did a lot of smart stuff. But you got to create, like, you have to create drama by doing dumb shit, and that's the only way that people. Hell, horror movies are kind of known for that shit. They run up the stairs every time. You're like, what are you doing? The front door was right there, and you closed it, locked it, ran upstairs. Like, the guy's in your house already.
Yeah.
You like deadbolt the dude in your house. You're like, now you can't leave. Ha ha ha. And he's like, all right, I wasn't trying to. Fucking stab. And you're like, son of a bitch. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good movie, but I hate it. But that's, I think, the point of it. So I almost can't even really fault it.
No, that's definitely the point of this one.
I mean, I have no clue what to score it. I just, because I don't think it's bad, so I want to give it a good score, but I never want to watch it again. And I hated almost everything about it, but I mean, I think that's exactly what they were going for. And they accomplished it.
It's so funny that you say that. And then the movies that you say you like a lot, that's exactly how I feel about them. I fucking hate everything about this movie, but it's well made.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think this is my best pick on the show so far.
It's a good pick. It's definitely a good pick.
It's worth watching. It's just like one of those ones where if you're not ready for it, man, like
I went in completely blind.
All I was thinking when I picked it was like, okay, they at least know that I'm a horror fan, so that's probably what I'm picking. So they at least know it's in that genre. So, but I wasn't trying to tell you anything about it. I just was like, Eden Lake, let's go.
Yeah, I think I've heard about it, but again, knew absolutely nothing about it. I knew it was on Tubi, so I went straight to Tubi, loaded it up, and
how was it watching it with commercials? Because I watched it on Blu-ray. Because I almost watched it on Tubi just to see how it would affect me with commercials in it, because I feel like that would release a lot of tension.
I mean, I think Tubi does a good job of like placing their commercials.
I do as well.
So they find good spots in it where there's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
So you're not really stopping in the middle of something crazy going on. Like they do a pretty good job.
Yeah. I watched it on IMDb TV, which usually they have commercials, but I don't think I ever got any commercials in the whole movie, now that I think about it. So I watched it straight through. Did you read what I wrote on Letterboxd about it, Chris?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think I feel almost the exact.
Well, then
you kind of stole the words like right out of my mouth. I only wrote something because I knew Randall wasn't going to go on and check. So
that's true, because that didn't happen. I didn't check anything.
Yeah, but I had to write something down right when I finished it just to get my thoughts fresh. And it's pretty much what Chris said. Like, I absolutely hated the movie, but it's like such a good, like, well-made movie. It's like such an effective thriller. It's just so incredibly unpleasant. I just kind of just despised it.
But see, so what's wrong with me then? Because that's exactly why I liked it. I'm like, God, that was a fucked up movie. It made me feel sick to my stomach. I can't wait to watch it again. Like, that's exactly, I think exactly the way y'all think, until we get to that part where it goes, and do you want to rewatch it? And I'm like, yes. And you're like, fuck no, I'm good.
Yeah. And I couldn't figure out why it was so unpleasant to me, because
it's unfair.
I watch weird and messed up stuff, though. I'm like, it's not the only,
no, but like,
movie I've seen, but this one really did affect me.
Almost every movie that we watch, and I'm sorry for interrupting. I was trying not to.
It's okay.
I failed miserably at it. But every other movie we watch, for the most part, man, I mean, like 99.99% of the movies we watch, even if they're bleak, there's something there that you can grasp onto. Or you could at least go, well, it was cosmic horror, dude. It's not real. Like, this is unfair. It's bleak, and it could really happen. And it's unfair, man. There's no reason for them to be treated like that. And that you don't get any like solace from anything. There's nothing there to go, okay, 'cause at the very end, she's trapped being sexually molested and probably beaten, tortured, and murdered. And you know that. And then he's in the room and you can see on his face that he doesn't want to be like that. But he's like, I guess this is my life. Those on those stupid sunglasses.
Dude, that last scene of him just putting the sunglasses on and looking in the mirror for a long time. It's like, it kind of gave me chills.
Dude, it was like the portrait of a serial killer.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of like Taxi Driver when he's just standing there staring at himself in the mirror.
Yeah, I mean that might have been on purpose. They might have been paying homage to that.
Yeah, it was chilling. Yeah.
I mean, and like you see where he gets it from, because his dad was exactly the same, pretty much.
Exactly the same. And it's a really good like thing to show people like, oh man, you're not a product of your environment. You can do to at least a certain degree you are. And when you're raised in a house like that, you're gonna be a piece of shit like that. Like, how could you not, But yeah, man, I'm glad y'all watched it. I'm sorry that you hated it.
No, I'm glad I watched it too, actually.
That's the thing. I'm not upset that I watched it. I just had such a visceral reaction to it, and I never want to watch it again.
It's like one of those movies that you want to own, but you don't want to watch it. That's how I feel about a couple of movies. I got a few movies like that. I've got a slipcase cover of a Serbian film. It ain't ever getting opened. I don't want to watch it again. It wasn't even that good. Like, but it definitely said some things like audibly. Like I was like, oh, I don't want to ever hear that again. Like, why? Ooh, what? Why would you even write that? Like, oh god, like, it's not even scary. It's just fucking gross. But these little bastards were mean. That kid was mean, dude. Like,
that's Jack O'Connell too. He's actually like a really good actor.
Yeah,
the kid.
I
recognized him. I just didn't know what from. You know who he looks like to me? He looks like Chris Hayes.
A little bit. I could kind of see that.
Yeah, like when he's not being a super mean piece of shit, because Chris is like the polar opposite of that. So he looks kind of like him, doesn't act anything like him though. He's like his doppelganger.
Yeah. But I think that's what it is. It's so like realistic that I can watch something like Terrifier or something that's a little more over the top, and if the bad guy just goes and kills everybody and it's the bad guys win, like that's perfectly fine. Like none of that bothers me. Like I like that. But this one is just like you get no like relief from the bad stuff. Like nobody gets gets what they deserve. Like even the two like bully kids that die in the movie, like you feel bad for them because they're just being bullied by this one kid, and
they didn't even suffer when they died. They just got killed.
Well, they die because that dude is such a dick and got them involved in this crazy shit.
Right. Yeah. And when they're all like taking turns stabbing him, none of them want to do it. It's all
none of them, bro. When they made that kid do it, I was like, bro.
And he's like taking video of all of them so that they're like, it was fucked up.
Dude, how punchable is that girl's face? The girl in the group, her face is so punchable.
Yeah.
She has that like pinched in, looks like she smells a fart constantly. Just it looks like a fucking
white trash English girl.
Yeah, she looks like a fucking jelly bean, dude.
Yeah.
I just want to fucking
just shut the fuck up.
That's a girl I want to punch, dude. Like when she's like walking the dog like in front of him like a straight bitch. You're like, what? Why?
Yeah, they just needed John Wick to jump out of the woods and just beat all their asses and teach them a lesson.
Right. For sure.
Fassbender just pulls his Magneto helmet on. You're like, oh shit, here we go.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, you want to play games, huh? Have you seen Funny Games?
No, that's another one that I feel like is on the same. Yeah.
Well, it's also on my list, so we'll be watching that one pretty soon too. Because I've been trying to find a reason to watch it. It's not near as fucking revolting as this one, though.
Is it really? Okay. Because this is what I expected from Funny Games, kind of.
So you know what? Let me shut my mouth because it's been a while since I've watched it, but I don't remember ever feeling close to this like nasty afterwards.
Yeah.
It's Funny Games not pleasant. It's not a fucking yay type of movie, but it's not. This one was rough, man.
Yeah, it's a home invasion movie, right?
Yeah.
I really don't like them because they just like piss me off. Like same thing with this, like they just piss me off because like you're just fucking with people that don't really deserve it.
That's how I feel
They
about
just
science fiction
piss
movies.
me
I'm like,
off.
you're just fucking with me because I'm not smart enough to understand what's going on. I'm just playing, man. No, science fiction movies are way more enjoyable than this shit, dude, for sure. Even for
I
me,
was like,
dude. Like, I'd rather watch Star Trek than this most of the time.
I equate it to like, have you ever just come across like people doing dumb stuff in traffic or something like that on Instagram or whatever, and you just get fucking mad road rage and you're not even driving, you're just looking at a video on your phone?
No,
like,
Chris, I actually haven't.
Okay, just me. Yeah, those piss me off, and I can't do it.
Funny Games is at least got like some funny shit in it. There's nothing funny about this movie, man. Funny Games is at least, it literally has some funny stuff, and there's a couple of things that there's like a fourth wall break in there that's like kind of cool. It's like kind of well known, like, but like it's, yeah, this is a little tougher, man. This was tougher. Funny Games is definitely more artfully done, if that makes sense. Like,
okay,
I would put this one as a fucking horrible movie to watch. That one's more of a film. Like, there's definitely more. I mean, there's a reason why he remade it, because it needed to. He wanted to show it with, you know, a different audience because he was that proud of it, and that makes a lot of sense. They'd never remake this fucking movie. If they do, it won't be as good.
Yeah, it doesn't need it for sure.
No, dude, if they remade this, they would mess it up somehow. It would end up being like she would get away with some stupid shit, and it would be fucking dumb.
Yeah, agreed.
There's not even really much of a point of grading this unless y'all want to.
Yeah, I don't know how to grade it, honestly.
I didn't think either of y'all would. That's something I actually thought about. I was like, man, I don't have a clue how these fools are. Because I mean, my grade of it is like a 9 out of 10. But why would that surprise anybody?
I can't argue with it.
Yeah, like I've been thinking, I was kind of dreading talking about this all day because I was like, I wasn't sure how you're gonna take my opinion of it.
At this point, I don't let that stuff bother me. It used to bother me a little bit, but we all like very different shit at this point, and I think we're all okay with it at this point. So,
but yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, on a, you know, really it's a 9 out of 10 as a like how good a movie is.
Yeah, but on enjoyment, you're like 1.
On enjoyment, it's like, I don't know, a 5. I like kind of appreciate it. I just just a rough watch.
I'll be honest. I'm actually pleased with your responses, both of y'all's, because I just didn't want you to be like, no, it was terrible, because I just don't see how that's the case. So
yeah, I can't say it's bad. Can't say anything. I mean, other than what Chris said, there's like a couple moments where like, okay, you made a dumb decision so that we can keep the story going. But
yeah, so it's not a 42-minute movie.
yeah. But you know, putting those a couple small nitpicks aside, it's a great movie. I watched Straw Dogs not that long ago.
Straw Dogs,
the Dustin Hoffman home invasion movie.
I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
Him and his wife, they move out into the countryside in England, and he's got these guys working for him at his house. They start picking on him, and the like last 45 minutes of the movie is them like trying to get into the house. And he fights them all off. It has a similar feeling to this, not nearly as bleak. I mean, it has like a protagonist that you can root for, and like it has like an ending, you know.
There's another movie that's very similar to that. That's a whole genre though, man.
For sure.
I really like home invasion movies. Like, I'm figuring out what genres I really like, and I don't like them because they're necessarily pleasant. I like them because they're unpleasant. Like I like horror movies. Like, I don't like Disney movies because I don't care about that kind of shit. Like, that doesn't appeal to me. I like things that are super fucked up. I think I started thinking about it, and I think this is my release. Like, this is where I put all of my negative energies. I put it into watching these movies, and I experienced it through this, because man, I used to be a much more violent, negative person, man. I was a lot more like, dude, neither of y'all would have been my friend before I met Carissa. Neither of y'all would have, dude. I might have robbed one of y'all. Fuck, dude. Like I mean, I'm being serious. Like, I just was a different person, man. And so, like, but I'm
pretty sure I told you that before. You usually tell me a story. I was like, you know, we wouldn't have been friends.
You said it to me at least once. But like, that still is a part of my body. Like, is a part of me still. So where did it go? Well, I have to put it somewhere. but I'm not 20 anymore. I'm 40. So I think differently. And I go, okay, well, I can enjoy these movies and watch them and be like, golly. And then I can see like the reactions and the results of the actions of these people and go, oh, I'm glad I don't act like this fucking psycho piece of crap anymore. And I was nothing like this. I was just like a thuggish kind of a, you know, had problems, man. I'm not trying to blame nobody. I did my own actions, but like, you know, a lot of it wasn't necessarily my fault, quote unquote, but it was me doing it. Like, yeah, it's like you're responsible for yourself, you know? So I think that's why I'm able to watch these and get any kind of enjoyment, if that's what you want to call it. But I get some use out of it, you know? But I was driving, I think it was either yesterday or today, and I was thinking about you, Josh. I was like, man, he hasn't mentioned this movie yet. I wonder if he's watched it. Like that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I figured Chris had already watched it because you don't really talk about stuff much, and you're much more in the middle of Josh and I. Yeah. So I was like, okay. I wasn't really surprised that you hadn't said anything, but I was a little surprised Josh hadn't said anything. And I was like,
I kind of did want to say something when I finish it. Like,
yeah,
damn, like just watch this movie or just something simple, but I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah. It says Josh didn't say anything. I was like, and honestly, I was a little concerned. I was like, fuck, dude, maybe he really hated it. And I was like, well, maybe he really liked it and he's just busy. And then I was like, I don't see how he could really like that movie though. Like,
I did kind of know what to expect a little bit because I remember you telling me about it. So I did know it was going to be very brutal going in, but didn't help that much.
Well, just so you know, when I picked it, I literally had, I wish I could remember what the other movie was. I had another movie in my hand and I was looking at the other movie, and over that movie was my Blu-ray shelf. And it just was like staring at me, and I went like this. I was looking at it. I was like, all right, I think this is what we're going to watch. And then I did like this, and I was like, nope, it's going to be this one. And I just it just was like, no, we got to watch it. It just kind of spoke to me. Yeah. It like raised his hand, like over here. Because I mean, it came out of nowhere. I was just like eating late. Like I was just.
Yeah, I saw you just. I was actually thinking about it. I was gonna text you to remind you because I thought maybe you'd forgot.
Eating late was the movie.
No, yeah, you came up with it quick, you know.
Yeah,
and very matter of factly.
Yeah. No, it spoke to me. I was like, fuck, this is a rough one, man. But and when I watched it at the end of it, I'll be honest, dude. Full disclosure, man. I had a little tinge of like guilt. I was like, fuck, man, I made these guys watch this. Like, I hadn't watched it since the time I watched it the first time. And so I just remembered it being pretty brutal, but I remember being like a good movie. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm remembering it a little sour, you know? And then like halfway through it, I was like, golly, dude, this is as bad as I remember it being. Like, fuck, dude.
It's relentless.
Yes. Yeah. That's a really good word for it, dude. It's relentless.
It is.
Well, did y'all watch anything else this week? We haven't talked about that kind of stuff at all lately because none of us have had a whole lot of spare time, but I did watch one other thing. So I was curious if y'all watched anything else.
I watched one other thing.
He's like, after that, I watched fucking Snow White. I needed to clean my palate.
I actually watched Eden Lake early because I've been kind of busy. So I wasn't sure if I was going to have time.
Yeah.
If I was going to.
Oh, you mean like early in the week?
Finish it. Yeah, earlier in the week. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yes, so I finished it. I think I watched it Tuesday. So last night I watched the new what's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch movie.
Oh.
Power of the Dog.
Oh, is that any good?
I didn't really like it.
Interesting. It's been getting a lot of good buzz.
I don't think either of you guys are gonna like it.
Well, I wasn't planning on watching it, so that's good.
I was.
Were you?
But
I'm really weird with Benedict Cumberbatch, man. I don't know how I feel about that guy. I kind of hate him.
I like him a lot. But I feel like if Josh didn't like this movie, there's probably no way I'm gonna like it because it seemed something that was a little bit more up his alley, and I was interested in it.
It's a Western, but it's not really a Western. Yeah, I mean it's in a Western setting, but there's not any Western tropes. There's not a gun in the movie. It's not like it's just they're on a ranch in the 20s.
Ranch drama.
Yeah.
Ugh, ranch drama. You got like an angry packet of fucking Hidden Valley.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's why I laughed. I had that image in my head.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that, but yeah, no, that's perfect.
but
Oh, that's
it
funny.
is extremely slow. It's just a drama,
Yeah.
and
That sounds absolutely fucking horrendous.
it's like not story. There's very little story. It's all character based. There is sort of a twist at the end, so it makes it a little more interesting. But yeah, I was the whole way through. I was just like kind of forcing myself to finish it.
Huh.
It was like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie if it was
I'm already checked out.
less interesting.
What?
like
Wow.
like if the
Dude,
characters
that might be the best description of a movie I've ever heard in my life. It's like a Paul Thomas Anderson film, but less interesting. Because I couldn't be less interested in one of his movies. So
you talked me out of
tells
it.
me all I need to know about this shit.
and y'all know I love Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, dude.
So
For you to
it's
say
like
that shit.
like it felt like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, except it was boring for me. So
Josh
Okay.
goes, here's the realm of like movies. He's like, Terrifiers here, this one here, and I'm like, good. That's all I needed to know. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
yeah.
It's the polar opposite. Okay, cool. In every way. Oh man.
Yeah, I would say skip it, Chris.
Okay. Yep. You definitely talked me out of it now. I'm going to save
So-
my 2 hours for something else.
I watched the like transmission interrupt, whatever the fuck the movie's called.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was it called? Dude, that's pretty fucking bad that I can't remember the name of this movie. I literally watched it
I mean,
today.
I had never heard of it, but I remember hearing you talk about it.
It got
Well, I
kind
did
of
a
an
trailer
odd name.
reaction and I thought I had uploaded it.
Broadcast signal intrusion.
Yes, broadcast signal intrusion. Thank you. I thought I had uploaded the trailer reaction, and I don't guess I ever got it uploaded for some reason. It might have got blocked, but I really wanted to watch it, and my friend Bill watched it, and so I was like, "Well, if Bill watched it, I need to watch it because that's my buddy." And yeah, I just was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch it because he watched it, and he's gonna want somebody to talk to about it." So I turned it on and I really was worried because the trailer looks really great. And so I was like, okay, man, a lot of times when I see these low budget horror movies, the trailers are cut really well. They look awesome. And I watch it and I'm severely disappointed. But I distinctly remember when I watched the trailer, I thought, oh, this reminds me of like Seven, but not the same. Like it just has like that, it's got a feel to it of Seven. And so when I started watching it, and like and take this for what it is. It's just a description of the movie. It's not. If you took 7 and 8mm, and then you added like a Mel Gibson conspiracy theory point to it,
Okay.
that's really what you get. And then the end has a part that kind of throws a wrench in the mix. I don't want to say nothing else about it because I would like you guys to watch it and just kind of get your feedback. I don't know how you're going to feel, so I won't be any more surprised if you love it than if you don't. So I'm not going to, I just would love if you get a chance to watch it. I'd like to get your feedback because I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good, man. And it's not as, it doesn't have as good of acting as I wish it had. It doesn't have, but the fucking, I will say this, I really enjoyed the camera work. I'm starting to like notice things in movies these days as I'm watching stuff with you guys. I'm starting to understand different points of movie making and appreciate different parts of it too. So, and this one, they did some cool stuff with the camera. Like, I don't know what to call it, but it was cool. Like, I liked it. They did some really cool shots where like at one point it would like, the main character would like turn around and the camera would zoom up to his face and then slowly start pulling back. And then he would start walking and it would keep going back and then it would gradually turn. And like, but all of a sudden you're watching a different angle and I'm like, oh, that was really well done. Like it was easy, man. It was pleasant to watch. And then the score was bad ass. It felt like a noir movie, but with like somebody from like a mental fucking facility that they were like, all right, we need you to write 3 minutes of music. And here's all the instruments that we don't know how to play, but they're musicians. So they give some fucking crazy guy a bunch of weird shit that is like not traditional at all. He's just like ding dong, ding dong, ding. I don't know how else to describe it, man. It was mostly, it had like these weird like moments of like old school noir music. I don't know, man. It's a cool mystery movie, dude. It's not. I think it's kind of unique. It's well made. I thought I'm sure there could be things that could be done better, but I really enjoyed it. And if you get the chance to watch it, I'd like to have your feedback. It had a shockingly low score on what I saw online, and I was really, really surprised by it because I was like, I would have thought it would have got at least a little better than that, like at least 5 out of 10 on some stuff. It was getting like low. So I don't really understand the scoring behind it, other than the fact that most of the critics out there, quote unquote, are fucking terrible at their job. So,
did you have to rent it? Was it streaming?
I rented it on Amazon.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, if you're not in any hurry to watch it at all, if it comes out on hard copy, I am going to buy it because I liked it enough to buy it. So
okay, sounds interesting.
It was, dude. I enjoyed it, man. It was like this guy is how do I describe it? He's like I don't know what he does, to be honest. He's like he likes cameras a lot. He knows a lot about film and that kind of thing. And
it says he's a video archivist.
Okay. I almost said archivist, but I couldn't remember if that is it. Archivist? How do you say that word? Whatever. Whatever that word is, that's what I was thinking. But I thought I was thinking of the wrong movie. I, for some reason, was thinking of that one where that lady was doing the video nasties thing.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, and I was like, am I thinking of the wrong movie? But no, you're right. That's what. Okay, so that's what he does. And his wife disappears, and he's trying to find her. And there's these tapes from this broadcast signal intrusion, which actually stems from a real thing. Like the movie was made based on real events. I don't know if y'all know about that, but in the 80s, they were like, I think it was just during a news segment. This dude with like a rubber mask interrupted live TV, and it was like he hacked into it in like the 80s. It was a big deal. I remember that because it's on. I watch a lot of like true crime stuff. I've seen this story a few times, but I didn't know they were making a movie based on it. It was cool, man. It was a cool movie. Not perfect, but fun.
Sounds cool. I'm interested.
Whose pick is it this week?
It's mine. You want to go? You want to talk first?
Yeah, so the only thing I watched was the Last Duel, which I've already talked to you guys about. But
man, I want to watch that movie.
It was really good. I mean, it was a little long, but like I felt it went by fairly quick. I was worried because I mean it's told in from three different perspectives, pretty much the same story from 3 different perspectives.
I like those kind of movies,
and I was a little worried because I mean it's kind of like Rashomon. I mean, Rashomon's the the main like movie that gets credit for that type of story.
What movie is
Rashomon? It's Akira Kurosawa, the guy that directed Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
It's a story of something happens and 3 people tell the story, but the story is different every time somebody tells it.
That's cool. Somebody mentioned Kurosawa and something today, and I was like gonna ask you about it. I wish I could remember what the question was. Anyway,
no,
sorry.
that was a different Kurosawa. That's Cure.
Oh shit! Is it that different? Dude, I don't know. Is that different people?
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, different Japanese director.
Of course, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that one's modern. No relation to Akira Kurosawa. As far
That's
as
insane that there's 2 people that are of relevance with that same exact name that I would know about.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. Like I remember when I first discovered that movie Cure and saw it was directed by a guy named Kurosawa. I was like, oh, cool. But
I wonder if how common that last name is in Japan though.
Dude, that's exactly what I thought when I said that. I was like, I wonder if that's a common name.
Yeah, might be.
Could be. But I was a little worried that it might kind of rehash some of the story like over and over again, like each story chapter.
Yeah.
But it really didn't. Like it kind of like skipped the retelling of certain parts, and it really just gave you like what you needed to know. And it was an interesting story. And I mean, it was more of a drama than I was kind of expecting, but
that's what I was expecting out of it was a drama.
It had a lot of good fight scenes. Some of it had a little like CGI blood spurt moments, and I was like,
it drives me nuts, man.
Could have done without that, but it had just brutal like action, sword fighting action and stuff like that. It was good.
Like sword fighting or like sword fighting?
Yeah,
both.
Yeah, let's go.
But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really, really good. It's a shame it made so little.
Well, I'm gonna probably buy that one on hard disk because Carissa was also interested in it, and why rent it for $7 when I could just buy it for probably $20 and just have a copy?
Yeah,
it comes out the next week, I think.
Next week,
already?
Yeah.
That's incredible how fast they
they
can get these movies out now.
Yeah, I think they pushed it pretty quick because it made nothing. So they wanted to at least get it out, and hopefully they can salvage some sort of budget to it.
So on a completely different subject, but we were talking about names, meaning stuff, and how common they are. Today, I don't remember how it came up, but Bricken said something about I said something about we were Irish. And they were like, Charlie's, dude, kids are so smart sometimes without even you realizing it. I'm like, yeah, we're Irish. And Charlie goes, no, we're not. And I was like, well, no, yeah, we're Irish. Like, our last name is Patty. And she goes, Dad, we were born in America. And I was like, all right, 1-0 Charlie. I was like, yep. So I had to explain to her what I meant. And she goes, well, that's not what you're saying. And I'm like, yeah, fuck off. And but I said something, and Bricken goes, oh, okay, that must be why I don't know anybody else in my school named Bricken. And I was like, well, there's probably not anybody else in the whole city named Bricken. And then I stopped for a second and I was like, you know what? You might be the only person in the entire country named Bricken. I've never heard that name anywhere else myself.
I haven't.
Dude, it blew his mind that he had a really unique name. He was like nobody else? And I was like, I mean, I'm not going to guarantee the whole country, but for sure Houston. I was like, there is nobody else in Houston named Bricken. I can guarantee that. And it just like he thought it was so cool, man. I don't know. I just thought it was a funny story. But
that is funny.
Fuck, I just had something in my head and it just went whoop. All right. Well, that never mind. What are y'all doing this weekend? Oh, wait, Saturday's the fight.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so pumped for this shit, dude. Man, I'm so worried about Dustin Poirier winning this belt, dude. I want him to win so bad.
Me too.
I mean, you're a bigger fan of his than I am, and I'm a pretty big fan of his. So I want him to win. Like, I'm a big Dustin Poirier fan. I'm just also a big fan of guys he's fighting. So, like, it's really stressing me out. But I also, like, really respect Charles Oliveira. And I'm like, man, how bad would it suck to be like that guy where you come in right after Khabib, we win the belt, and then lose the belt? You're going to get zero credit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't dislike Oliveira. I just Poirier is probably my favorite fighter.
Yeah, see, I figured he was probably your favorite, and I was probably up there for Josh too.
Yeah, he's up there for me for sure.
I was doing some research though, and I think I'm going to put a little money on Oliveira, not because I'm super confident he's going to win per se, but because I think it's so close that the fact that I can get plus 150 money on him is so stupid to me, because I think it should be even money for both guys roughly, that I'm like, it's worth the risk for plus money on this dude, because I think it's a close your eyes, flip a coin type of fight, man. I have a clue what's going to happen, dude. None of it would surprise me. I think people are writing off Oliveira and they're being real stupid to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Oliveira's looked so good in those last couple of fights.
He's on a 9-fight win streak, man. Just to be able to do that in the UFC is damn near impossible. So, like, man, like, dude, I watched this guy. His name's the Weasel. He's really, really good at like breaking down fight stuff. I don't know where he came up with his name, but he's really good at like analytical fight stuff. And he did a video on who was greater. What'd you say?
He said Pauly Shore.
So was it Pauly Shore?
Dude,
the Weasel.
So the funny part about that is that I didn't hear you say that at all, but in my head I was thinking of like I was literally thinking it in my head. That is amazing. We're on the same wavelength, sir. But he came up with a video that he did, and he compared the careers of Aldo and Khabib, and like objectively speaking, Aldo is a better fighter and a bigger legend than Khabib. And I couldn't believe how he broke it down, because it made so much logical. He's like, all right, if you just put them in the same exact thing, when they started fighting and when they lost, if Khabib, if not when they lost, excuse me, when they quit, if Aldo had quit at the same time in his career as Khabib, he was infinitely more dominant. He had been in more championship fights. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that about him. Like, I knew he had way more championship fights, way more time on top. But I didn't realize it was like to that degree. And like the fights that he's won, the people he's fought, dude, even the losses that he's got are more impressive than the wins that Khabib has. And it just blew my mind. I was like, man, like if you had asked me who's better, like it just name for name, Khabib or Aldo, I think I would have not liked saying it, but I probably would have said Khabib. I don't like him though, so I would have been like, Beeb, I guess. But like, dude, this guy laid it out there, and then I was like, oh, that's a very unpopular opinion you have, sir. I really I appreciate it because I don't. Not many people have the guts to get on here and make a video like this. He's got a lot of viewers, man. I would say probably 500,000 or more. So like, to get on there and say something like that, you're gonna piss off your whole entire people. Like, I appreciate that, man, because that's the kind of thing I would do. Go out there and say something that's just objective, and then your opinion. And then look, that's all it is my opinion. And I base it on these facts here. And if you don't like it, you don't have to. Like, I've started to get kind of like that on my channel recently, where I'm just like, yeah, if you don't like it, whatever, man. I don't really care. Like, I kind of can't afford to care. I mean, nobody is happy with anything you say anyway. So like, why do I give a shit?
Yeah.
The horror channel is so much more fun because of the exact reason, but on the opposite end of the spectrum, man. People are like, yeah, I mean, sometimes you get some bickering, but generally speaking, it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't like that. Oh, no, the next, like, yeah, everybody pretty much just likes horror movies, and like, we can disagree on some like minute things about it. Like, as an example, I don't really care for Friday the 13th much, and I really don't like Chucky very much, but like, I'm still a big horror fan. So the people that are fans of that stuff don't hate me because I don't like that. They just go, yeah, whatever. What do you like? Oh, Terrifier, that's pretty good. Or Scream, that's pretty good. There's no reason to hate each other over it. So the fact that I can be like, oh man, I really enjoy Little Peep, but this song, not too good, man. Dude, I'm speaking objectively. It's not well made. It wasn't well written. There's hardly any words in it. He repeats himself 7 times. It's a 3-minute song with a 40-minute intro. I mean, a 40-second intro and a 40-second outro. It's not really a song. It's a sound clip, dude. People are like, oh my God, he's the GOAT, though. You can't say that about Little Peep.
Anybody who made 2,000 songs, they're not all going to be gold.
Dude, yeah. I tried to tell somebody that, and he literally was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, why do you think he's got 4,000 unreleased songs? So they weren't good enough to make it to the album, my friend. I was like, that's why he has amazing records, because his record is full of all the songs that were good. Yeah. Like Juice WRLD, his records are awesome from front to back, but he's got 4,000 unreleased songs. No shit, his record's good. He made 1 million songs. He was able to cherry pick them. I would be pretty disappointed if his records were bad. Like, knowing what I know now, I would be shocked if his records weren't good. Yeah, anyways, sure. It's such a weird conversation. People are fucking insane, dude. Like, I'm
crazy that think these people are perfect. Like, their shit doesn't stink.
It's so weird, dude. Like, I would consider myself a super fan of Terrifier.
Yeah.
If I got upset every time somebody said Terrifier sucked, I'd be on fucking Facebook all day long arguing about how great the movie was. I don't give a shit what you think of Terrifier. Like, I care what you two think to a certain degree. Like, I'm really glad Chris liked it. I hope if you ever watch it that you do like it. And if you already have watched it, you're just being cool. Thank you. But like, you know, like, but that's about it. Like, that's the extent of it. I'm not going to take it personally. I don't really expect Josh to like it much. I was super stoked when you liked it, so I'm good, man. If I got on the text thing every day and told you how much Pink Floyd sucked, it might irritate you a little bit, but it wouldn't irritate you because I was talking about Pink Floyd. It would irritate you because I was being fucking irritating. Like, that's different. Like, and even then, you might not even care. Like, you might just be like, I'm working, I'm busy, I don't got time for this shit, child. Like,
I'm pretty sure the first time you said that, you were like, yeah, they suck. I was like,
well, I mean, they do, but I mean, that's beside the fact. Yeah, I don't like that band, but whatever. Like, who cares? Like, I would be so irritated if you cared about that. If you were like, oh, fuck you because you don't like Pink Floyd. I'm like, what about me fucking shouts Pink Floyd's my favorite band? Like,
just the pink, I guess.
Yes, just the pink. I'm halfway there. You're like, you should at least like half of Pink Floyd. I'm like, fuck, I kind of do. Their name is pretty rad. Like, hey, what is up with their name? Do you know what is it? Is it their names from like the guys in the band, or is it just something they made up?
You put me on the spot. Honestly, I'm not sure.
No, it just popped in my head. I'd never heard anybody talk about their name before, so I wasn't sure if you know or not. But look, I don't like Pink Floyd, but I've listened to them, and they're objectively good at what they do, which is what frustrates me about stuff like some of these artists that I'm listening to, is that with Pink Floyd, I can go, okay, even bands like Ginger, who I really do not like, I can go, okay, I don't like this band like at all, and I think that their songs are terrible. But they're clearly good at what they do. Like, it's obvious that they're really good musicians. She's really good at singing. She's really good at screaming. They put their songs together well. They record them, produce them, mix and master them really well. Well, then how come I can be objective about that? And then when I'm objective about a song that it's not recorded very well, the guy's slurring his words, and like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm allowed to say it's not good. It's not. It's not like it's a guy. Shit, dude. It should tell somebody something when I say a Little Peep song isn't good because I like Little Peep. I fucking hate Ginger. Like, oh god, just irks me because people can't just be like, oh, you like him, but you don't like this song. Oh yeah, that's cool. But I had a guy earlier. He's like, Little Peep's the goat, and I was like, I guess. And he was like, what do you mean? He like did all this, and I was like, I mean, not really. And then he was like, man. And I was like, look, man, I don't mean to be rude. I don't have the energy for this, dude. I don't care. I was like, whatever. And he goes, well, how come you do all these songs if you don't like him? I was like, no, dude, this is my issue with you is that you think I don't like him. Where did I say that? He's like, well, I said he was the GOAT. And you were like, yeah, I guess. And I was like, yeah, I don't think he's the GOAT. The greatest of all, the GOAT. That's I was insane. Like, bro, what genre are we talking about? And then he goes, okay, hip hop. And I was like, Eminem, better than Lil Peep. And I was like, objectively speaking, I was like, and I like probably Lil Peep more than Eminem at this point in my life. Like, not classic song wise, but like just right now, what am I listening to more? Definitely Lil Peep, man. But like, and he was like, okay, well, what about emo? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Emo? I was like, My Chemical Romance anyone? I was like, Jesus Lord, that band's infinitely better than Lil Peep. And now I'm gonna piss off all my people talking about this now. Fuck, dude.
Should do more My Chemical Romance reactions.
I should. That band's good.
Yeah,
you know, that's one of those bands that I was like really embarrassed to like, but I liked them and didn't tell any of my friends. And then I found out all of my friends did the same shit. I was like, oh, you guys suck.
I've kind of felt the same way because like it's not. I don't like that big into emo music, but I was kind of like adjacent to emo music a little bit, listening to like Coheed and Cambria and like
Coheed back in like the day crossed into it on occasion. That's how I even know who they are.
Yeah, they kind of fell into that box, I think, but I think they were different enough that I wouldn't really classify their music as that.
Dude, MCR was more pop punk than they were emo. Yeah, that's why I liked them so much because they had so many pop punk songs, and I was like, man, this band's great. But all my friends were like, oh, this guys suck. Like Hawthorne Heights, that band's awesome, dude. And I never told nobody that. I wasn't about to tell nobody I liked Hawthorne Heights. Get the shit kicked out of me saying that. Like, oh man, like Dashboard Confessional, I literally got laughed out of my friend's house. I showed up rocking like a Dashboard shirt, and he's like, "The fuck is that?" And I was like, "What?" He goes, that fucking gay ass shirt." And I was like, "What's wrong with Dashboard Confessional?" And he was like, "Whatever, fag," and like threw a beer at me. And I was like, "Bro, it's not cool. You can't say that kind of thing in 2021." He's like, "It's not 2021. It's 2012." And I was like, "Oh, that's right. My bad." But actually, it's probably before that even. It was definitely when calling people gay and fag was still okay. It's not okay anymore, folks. I'm not saying it because it's okay. It's a story, okay? Jeez, the fact that I have to say that is fucking dumb. We need to preface things like, hey, I'm not trying to offend you, man. I just wanted to know, what color shirt is that? Like, what? I feel like that's where we're headed, man. Hey, I don't mean to offend, but you guys sell cheeseburgers here? Like, yeah, it's McDonald's. Just wanted to make sure before I made an assumption. Like, the cheeseburgers, they wanted to be called fucking chicken sandwiches, though, so that's what they are now. Oh man, the next time I go to McDonald's, do what?
When the food starts identifying itself as something else, we got a real problem.
I'm gonna start asking them fucking cheeseburgers if they want to be called meatball subs and be like, yeah, what's your pronoun, cheeseburger? My name, fucking. Oh man, I'm gonna get canceled in this episode.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody's turned this off by now.
You know what? Hopefully they haven't. And hopefully they can take it fucking easy, man. It's a joke, dude.
Yeah.
So many people are just so stiff, dude. I want to go, stop it. Oh, did y'all see did I send you the picture of the Juice WRLD shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, that fucking image came out really good, man. I got to rework the screen a little bit, but the image, man, like I'm genuinely becoming a big fan of his music, dude. Like his shit is really good. But I also am a realistic person, and that's where I have the issues with all of it because I can't escape the fact that I say stuff. I can't keep my mouth shut, dude. When I hear the guy like he's like, "Ooh, at the club taking pills," and I'm like, "Is that not glorifying drug use?" And then people want to give me 25 reasons why it's not. Part of it is I'm just trying to get people to interact, but like, yeah, dude, people are silly. Cool. What's the movie for next week, Josh?
Slow West.
God damn it. What is this?
Another Michael Fassbender movie.
Really?
It's a Western.
What? It's called Slow West and it's not a science fiction film? What are we doing here?
Shocker. You have Showtime, right?
Sorry. Me?
You have Showtime?
Yes. Is it on Showtime?
Okay, it's on Showtime. It's like
2015.
It's like 83 minutes.
Nice, dude. Go Josh.
Oh, that weird looking kid from the road.
Yeah, he's also in Power of the Dog too. He's
And Let Me In. Oh,
Cody Schmidt McPhee or whatever.
Who's the other guy in it? That looks like Ethan Hawke kind of.
Oh, it's what is
Ben
his
Mendelsohn?
name? Ben Mendelsohn, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's awesome.
Have you seen this before?
Yes, I have seen it before.
So is it I mean, it looks like shit. Looks cool. I don't know nothing about it, but it looks cool.
It's fun. It's just a good modern Western, I think.
Yeah, that's a nice change of pace for the channel, man. We don't dude, on Horror Hangout, man, I it's a horror channel, but it's a movie channel, man. I fuck with Westerns, dude. Like Western movies and like 90s and 80s, like cheesy action shit, kung fu's, that's all stuff. It falls in the same basket for me, man. But hell yeah.
Cool. Never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't think I ever knew that one had come out. I mean, that's been since I've been with Chris. I'm kind of surprised I never heard that one. I like Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, I've only seen it once. I watched it like right when it first came out, but it's been a while. But I remember really liking it. So
hell yeah. Well, anybody that's still watching, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the show with all of our ranting, mostly mine. But yeah, dude, go check out Eden Lake. It's on Tubi. If you want to be just, I don't know, if you're in the mood to take a shower right after a movie, check out Eden Lake.
Yep,
that's the best way to describe it, man. You'd be like, oh god, I need a shower after this movie. But yeah, man. All the other stuff I should have said at the beginning of the video. Have a good night. Peace.